Okay, let's do a few of these, as we already did. The first one together. Break it up into two. Quiet down, quiet down. So you get your two answers, and we could actually write these as like this. When they have a square root, just simplify the square root. And I gave you some nice square roots at first. So like square root of 16 is 4. And what we're doing is doing the quadratic formula that we talked about earlier. We're doing the last step. So we're actually going to work on the steps backwards and get towards the very beginning. And so plus or minus. So we have 5 plus 4 over 6. Okay. And we also have 5 minus 4 over 6. Two possibilities. 5 plus 4 is 9 over 6, which reduces to 3. And 5 minus 4 is 6. So we get answers of 3 over 2 and 1 over 6. So fractions are okay. If you'll get fractions, just reduce them. What happens when you get 0? What's the square root of 0? 0, right? Now, if you do 4 plus 0 over 2 and negative 4 minus 0 over 2, what happens? What do you get on the left side?
Oh, you get positive. You can get negative. Negative 4.
You get negative 4 divided by 2, which is negative 2. And on the right-hand side, negative 4 minus 0 divided by 2. So you only get one answer when you have a 0. Because if you add 0, subtract 0, it doesn't change the answer. Adding 0 and subtracting 0 doesn't change the answer. So we only have to list one of them. You don't have to say the answer is negative 2 and negative 2. Just one answer. One answer. So it's possible to have two answers. If this is a positive number, right, you'll get two answers because you'll go up a little and down a little. But if this is 0, you're not going to go up and down at all. It's going to be the same two numbers. You just have to list them once. And in the case that this comes out to a negative, there won't be an answer at all because you can't take the square root of negative. So 3 possibilities. Positive will give you 2 answers. It'll go to the right and left a little bit. And the 0, 1 answer because you're not going up or down or at all. And then if this is a negative, you can't do it at all. You just say no real answers. No answers at all. So 2 answers, 1 answer, or no answers. We'll get to the no answers later. When you get to here, you notice I changed it to an approximate sign, right?
Yeah.
Why is that?
You never know.
Because the square root of 32 isn't perfect. Remember, if you have 16, 25, 36, 81, those are nice numbers. So you can take the square root of it. But square root of 32, what is that?
Just said it.
What is the square root of 32? So you might use a calculator, right? Say 32 square root, and it's about 5.7. It says 5.65, so I'm going to round up to 5.7. And now you have to do 2 of these. What is Negative 20 plus 5.7 divided by 8. And what is negative 20 minus 5.7 divided by 8? So to be clear, how did I go from square root of 32 to 5.7? Calculator. Go from here to here. And then I also highly suggest using a calculator for those as well. Because you're not going to be able to really do negative 20 minus 5.7 and then divide that by 8 really easily. Use a calculator and get your two numbers. Round them to the nearest tenth, so one decimal place. So let's do this one. Negative 20 plus 5.7. Let's do this. So I got, negative 20 plus 5.7 equals negative 14.3. And divide that by 8. So it's negative 1.7875. I'm going to round to the nearest tenth, negative 1.8. And there's one of your answers, negative 1.8. And then do the same thing with the second one. 20, negative 20 minus 5.7 equals negative 25.7 divided by 8, negative 3.2. So we have negative 25.7 over 8, and that equals negative 3.2. So there are your two answers. So even if it's not a nice number, we can still get two answers. Some people will say, I couldn't take the square root of it, and they'll say no answer. Well, it's a decimal, there's an answer. And you can kind of tell where we're going. Everything we've done up to this point has been really nice numbers. Okay, so it always came out to something really nice, like 1 or 4. Right? Everything is really nice, but there's plenty of decimals in between all of these. Same thing here. You can see, like right here, that's definitely a fraction where it's crossing. It's not always going to be these nice numbers. And depending what A, B, and C is, yeah, lots of decimals there. Okay. So that's what I want you guys to work on for now. We already talked about 13 and those already. The number in front of the x squared, that's A. The number in front of the x is B. The number by itself is C. Right? And when you get to something like 16, they're not in order. And they're not on the same side. So you have to do a little bit of work and say, well, I want everything on the same side. Right? And I want to put them in order. I want to put the x squared first, the x next, and the 25 last. So I'm going to put these in the correct order. 4x squared plus 20x, because I added it to both sides, plus 25. And now I can say that's A, that's B, and that's C. So you might be able to say, yeah, that's C right there. It's a number by itself, no variable, and that's A. Just be careful you don't say B is equal to negative, because it's on the wrong side. I had to add it to both sides. That's why it comes out to positive. Okay. And that'll let you finish everything up that you need to on that page. Okay?